Canik 55 TP9. It's a 9mm polymer frame pistol, striker fire, holds 18 and 1, which is excellent. Very reminiscent of the Walther P99. There's a lot of areas where it's very similar, but not quite the same. I've seen these around. I've just been kind of curious about them. And then I watched Nut and Fancy's review on this pistol, and here we go. I'll tell you what, guys, this is a phenomenal pistol for around $319. In fact, the chrome version right now at JG Sales is running $299. It's really, to me, a much better quality pistol than anything in its price range. If you know anything about ISO 9000 standards, that tells you a lot. I have a good friend of mine that is an inspector for ISO 9000. He goes all over the country, and those guys are super flippin' picky about production and about the quality and inspection. You know, it is a black and chrome. You can get it in the black version, which is really nice. Mr. Guns and Gear just recently did one of their flat dark earth versions. They also do an OD green, and they have a titanium version. Double check, make sure the gun is unloaded. Being a Walther P99 clone, first off, the ergonomics are exceptional, just like all the Walther pistols. And it's just got a really good feel to it. It fits in the hand well. It rides perfectly right here at the back of your hand. The grooves. It's just a really ergonomic little pistol. The weight on the Canik is 26.5 ounces compared to the Glock 17, which is 25 ounces. So it's only about 1.5 ounces difference. The serrations on the slide are nice, ample, able to get a really good grip. The slide does come in at an angle. Again, very similar to the P99. Does have a nice accessory rail on the front, ample room for gloved hands. The texturing on the grip is nice. It's not super aggressive. It does have finger grooves here with grooves, and then right here on the back strap it has lines. There is an interchangeable back strap for a larger grip. It comes with the smaller size. This gives you a little more area up here near the beaver tail. And of course there's a roll pin right here that needs to be punched out, and then this fits right into the grip. It's opened here for your finger. The mag release is actually pretty nice. I mean, it's fairly large, and this is changeable. You can move this around to the left, so you have an ambidextrous magazine release. The end of the grip does come down, and that accommodates the magazine when it goes into the battery. So here you have it fitting just very well. Has a very nice feel to it. It does extend some because of the magazine, but it's not anything bad. In fact, it'll give you a little bit more, especially for those who have large hands. I have pretty medium hands. It comes with 2 steel magazines with polymer base plates. These are Metgar mags, and Metgar makes magazines for the majority of the pistol companies in the country. So they usually put the brand name on it, but Metgar is high quality. And guys, 18 and 1, that's impressive. The magazine slides in and out easily, very positive, and that steel, it is slick. Of course, Metgar makes excellent magazines. Good, solid lockup. The chrome finish on the slide is very nicely executed. It's a satin finish. On top, you do have serrations along the top to keep the glare down. One thing I love about this pistol is there's not a lot going on the sides, and I'm big about that. But we do have a minimal slide release. But one of the things about the slide release is the checkering is not really all that well finished, but it functions really well. Holds the slide into place. It's not very difficult to get a hold of. Now the trigger pull is one thing that I really want to talk about, because this is a really unique system, similar to the P99 but yet different. And one of the things that's pretty cool about this pistol, and we're going to double check to make sure the gun is unloaded, what we're doing right there just by pulling the slide back is we're setting up the trigger, and I'm going to show you. You take your trigger, go ahead and pull it, and then you hear a click. Now you can go ahead and push through that click to fire the handgun. But you can also let go, and you can have this trigger staged into single action mode. The striker is now cocked. Come in, pull the trigger, very little take up, and then a nice crisp snap. We're going to hold it down, we're going to check the reset. Really short reset. And then when you release it, it's going to remain in that cocked mode. Now back here on the back of the slide, you can see there is a cocked indicator. And when I pull the trigger, it's going to disappear. Now once the trigger has been released on an empty chamber, you have it in full double action mode. That means when you pull the trigger back, it's all double action. There's no staging going on. But once you've racked the slide, you have it in that two-stage configuration. Now, it's not safe really to carry it this way, even though there is a firing pin block, because you really have a short trigger pull, and so you're carrying it really half cocked, really full cocked. Now you'll notice right here on top is this black little area right here. This is a decocker. So if you have this in the single action striker cocked mode, all you have to do is press down and it releases the striker without firing the pistol. And now you're in more of a safe mode. Again, you're in total double action once you decock the gun in this manner. But on subsequent shots, it's going to be really short. It is a really nice trigger system. It's something that you might want to get used to if you're not used to this kind of trigger system, which I personally am not. But to be honest with you, once you start firing it, it's really a smooth trigger. That double action though, even though it's pretty smooth, it gets really heavy. It stacks here toward the rear. One of the great things though I like about this trigger system, especially for a polymer gun, is it has double strike capability. So if I fire on a dud round, I can fire again and release the round. So that to me is a really good advantage of this handgun. It does come with 3-dot sights that are adjustable for windage. And then you have your front sight. Now originally there were 2 extra replacements for different heights. They no longer include, or at least they weren't included in mine. You can see the sight picture here. It's a little wide on the back, but it does allow for really good accuracy. Okay, one of the things though that I did notice was on the left side, the dot, some of the paint had come around on the outside. I cleaned that up with my fingernail, but you can still see that there is a little bit as you look. The accuracy on this pistol is really phenomenal, honestly. Now I think the accuracy really has a lot to do with this trigger system. Locks into place. That first shot can be placed really easily. Just a small amount of take up and then a nice crisp snap. And then of course this decocking lever on top, it brings it back just to keep it safe. I'll tell you, shooting this pistol, I really like the way this trigger feels. The striker cocked indicator that's in red, whether you pull the trigger or you hit that decock lever on top, at least it lets you know that the striker's cocked. Now that doesn't necessarily mean there's a round in the chamber, but that does let you know that the striker is cocked. It's a cold hammer forged barrel. Again, ISO 9000 standard, so everything is quality control. Guys, I don't know what to tell you. I think exactly what Nothing Fancy said. Have you bought it yet? Have you called? Because this is a phenomenal little pistol. Now to give you a size comparison, I just brought out my Gen 4 Glock 17. This is a full-size pistol obviously, but so is the TP9. The slide's only a 1/10 of an inch difference in width with the TP9. The slide does come out about a 1/4 of an inch longer on the Glock, but of course because of the magazine base, it comes out just a little bit longer on the TP9. So really very comparable, very close. Of course, totally different handguns, but one of the industry standards that everybody knows is Glock. And again, a very comparable pistol. So while the Glock in our area sells for about $540 to $550, the Canik TP9, again, $319. It's a pretty major difference. Now let's disassemble the pistol. First thing, go ahead and check to make sure the gun is unloaded. This is one of the simplest guns to break down that I've seen. There are tabs right here, and this is very Walther-like on both sides. Pull those down at the same time. You'll feel a little click. Now you can either pull the trigger or you can decock right here. And then the slide just comes right off. Here we have a steel guide rod and a really flat spring. It has a 4-inch barrel, and this is one of the Browning linkless modified designs. It is a cold hammer forged barrel, which gives exceptional long life. Of course, the interior of the slide is hard chromed as well. It's a really nice finish. I haven't cleaned this gun after shooting it, but it's really going to hold up well with the hard chrome. I like the lubricity of chrome. It really rides very well. Here we see the striker, firing pin safety, slide rails, of course, front and back. Really pretty reminiscent of most of your polymer frame designs. Of course, reassembly, barrel in first, guide rod, slide back on the frame, you're ready to go. The TP9 comes in a nice hard plastic case, foam lined. This is the way you're going to see it when you get it. It's going to be inside of a holster, and this is definitely inspired by Serpa, which this is excellent in itself. It comes with a paddle option or belt option, also has a cleaning brush and a cleaning rod. Of course, the extra magazine, back strap, and a magazine loader. You get this really nice trigger safety, which is going to go in my junk drawer, and it comes with a really nice manual in English. For around $319, you just can't beat it. Not only does the Canik TP9 meet ISO 9000 standards, this is also produced by one of the Turkish defense contracting companies, which is also set up for high standards. And there are a lot of military and police units that use this particular pistol. At the range, this gun performed extremely well. It's really a pleasure to shoot, stays on target. I'm gonna tell you guys, for the money, it's just gonna be really hard to beat this TP9. Great gun, truck gun, car gun, stash gun, or for home defense. I mean, it's really just an excellent high quality pistol. Not quite as refined as maybe an HK or a Walther, but honestly, it's a really nice pistol. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America, long live the Republic.
It's starting to rain or something.
You're all right. You go.
No, I don't know. How much can these cameras take?
They can take some water. They just can't take a downpour. I mean, they, you know, and even then, they probably aren't. Is it on record? Yeah.
Whenever you look up at me, it looks like you're looking at the sky.
This is my kind of target. And this is what I'm talking about. Easy to see targets rock. No wonder Nothing Fancy loved this gun. Instead of TMP, this is the TP9.
Say hello to my little friend.
Okay, now click that off.